Hi, and welcome to today's WTF to Eat recipe demo. First things first, I'm Jess. I'm a registered dietitian, health coach, and author. Every month, I like to bring a different recipe to help fuel your body and mind. So I focus a lot as a dietitian on making sure that meals have enough protein, enough fiber to be filling. So today I wanted to share one of my favorite easy meal prep friendly high protein recipes. We're making meatloaf muffins, which does not sound super exciting, right? But if you hear background noise, that's just my husband in the other room watching a video on his phone. So we're gonna be I'm gonna show you the basics of just kind of how to make these super easy and what to pair them with. So as I'm realizing this too, this happens every winter. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna wear something festive and cute, and then it's like 4 degrees outside, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just like wear like a turtleneck and a sweater, and then I end up like stress sweating because I'm like working with clients and running around, and then I'm like, oh, it's time to do the demo. And then I forget my sweater. So, here we are. But we are gonna just get right into it. And if you're new to me, I'm really happy you're here. This is just one of the more fun things I like to do as a dietitian, just to share how eating healthfully can be really approachable, because we got enough going on in the world right now. So let's keep things simple. So we're gonna start with making the meatloaf mixture. I'm working with ground turkey. I think I bought 93% lean, which is, you can buy leaner, but I find that this is a really good middle ground because it is more flavorful, still very lean, great source of protein. So I have a pound here of ground turkey, and I'm just gonna mash it up with a fork. Oh God, I hate when the raw meat gets on my hands. Sometimes I will do this with gloves because that's just me. But do it works for you. You can use a fancier meat masher, but I find that this works just fine. All right, so we're also gonna add some diced onion. So this is about a half cup about like a half of a small onion or one really tiny onion. Just dice it really finely. You can also add garlic if you like in here. I happen not to, just because I didn't feel like mincing garlic. It's been a week. So I just have some diced onion. You could put some garlic paste in here. You could add tomato paste, barbecue sauce. You could, do like other sauces that you like. Feel free to mix it up. I've even made this with a little bit of miso paste mixed in for an extra savory note. So this is super easy to customize. You can also use a different kind of meat too. You can make these with ground beef, pork, ground chicken. I haven't tried it with something like tofu or tempeh. I feel like texture-wise it'd be a little bit different. You can make, things like lentils, beans do tend to work a little bit better because the starches give them, help them bind a little better. But it can be done plant-based. I find that the meat-based ones work best for me and what we tend to need in my home. And then I have some spices here. So I've got some garlic powder, paprika. I've got some like salt and pepper, of course. I also just snuck in a little bit of like poultry seasoning I'm trying to use up because it just tastes really nice. So, again, this is a place where you can customize. I'm also gonna add in 1 egg. If you don't eat eggs, you don't have eggs, you can make a flax or chia egg by literally just soaking a tablespoon of ground flax or chia seeds in about 2 tablespoons of water and just let it sit for a few minutes, give it a few stirs, and it creates like a nice little gel-like substance that helps everything bind together, because that's why we're using it here. You can make this without any egg, whether that's real egg or plant-based egg, but the texture might be a little bit different. These might fall apart a little more easily. And then lastly, I'm gonna add in about a half cup of rolled oats. These technically are instant oats that have like flax and chia in them, because that's what I had in the house. But usually when I'm making meatloaf or meatloaf muffins, I will just use regular old rolled oats. But right now we just have like gluten-free instant oats with seeds in the house, and this works just as well. Actually, I honestly kind of like doing this way because it's a nice way to add a little bit of extra healthy fat in there. All right, so I'm gonna make sure that this is mixed really well. So I feel like I say this every time. we're not getting points for like beauty here. Like, there's no way to say that this is like attractive to look at, right? But you are gonna get around 20 grams of protein per serving, which is gonna, actually no, closer to 25, which is gonna carry you pretty well through your day. You know, I've been working in the women's health space for like almost 15 years. And one of the things I found most consistently is that so many women truly don't eat quite enough protein. It doesn't have to be sky high. Like, you don't have to get like 150 grams per day necessarily. Sometimes you do, sometimes not. But I will say with my clients over the years, and I found this to be true in my own life, when you do add enough protein, you feel so much better. You feel more full, grounded, energized. You can think more clearly, less hanger. Those hangry moments are super fun, right? So now I've got just a regular old muffin tin. You can use whatever kind you like. I happen to have a silicone one, is what I'm working with today, and I have some olive oil spray. I usually will use olive oil because I want those extra healthy fats, the monounsaturated fats. I want that flavor. So I'm just gonna give it a quick spritz. And this is just gonna help with when we go to take the muffins out of the pan, just so they slice out and fall out more easily. Sorry, I have mom brain, can you tell? Sometimes words just don't come the way I want them to. All right, so now we're gonna fill the muffin tins with our meatloaf mixture. Yeah, I see Mr. 𝗧𝘂𝗿𝗄𝘆 here. Nice to see you, by the way. Agreeing about protein power. Honestly, it is one of the most helpful things. If we're talking about brain function, I really noticed a difference in my ability to just like think and respond and just roll with the punches when I started becoming a little more intentional about eating enough protein. So I will tell you, I have found that very, very helpful. All right, so you don't have to be precious about this, by the way. Like, feel free to like mush it in there, like kind of, you know, use, I as you can see, I'm using a spoon. You could use your hands if you wanted to. It's really up to you. But you want them to be like roughly the same size. These aren't gonna like rise or anything like that, so no need to worry about like, oh, only fill it 2/3 of the way. I would just say as much as will fill, you know, as much as it goes to the top. We'll kind of see where it goes. If you preferred, I'm making a batch of a dozen. You could use you have like jumbo muffin tins. You could make bigger meatloaf muffins, but know that the cooking time will be a little bit different. Now, I'm not going to do it today just because I wanted to show a really basic recipe, but you also could, this is the point where if you wanted to add like something on top, like some, like a sauce, like barbecue sauce or teriyaki sauce, or, you know, sometimes I'll do like a tomato paste based sauce. This is a great time to do that as well. I know that traditionally a lot of folks like to add ketchup to their meatloaf. I hate ketchup. I don't know. That happened in my like probably like late 30s. I just woke up one day and I despised the taste of ketchup. But you know, if that's your jam, you can totally add a little bit here. All right, so we have our meatloaf muffins ready to go in the oven. So these guys are going to cook at 375 for about, I would say check them at 20 minutes. Mine were done around 25. So I'm going to put these in. All right. And then just to show you what they're going to look like when they're done. Okay, I know I said not really pretty, right? But this is one example of how you might enjoy them. Now, each muffin has around 8-ish grams of protein. So if I'm having a serving, I'll probably go for 3 of them. I know sometimes there's this idea we should only eat like one. Like, that's total BS. Like, eat enough so you feel full. So we have our turkey muffins. I loved pairing them with some Brussels sprouts. I have some roasted Japanese sweet potato here. Any starch you like is good. I also think these are delicious in a salad. If you chop them, like heat them up, chop them up, really easy protein. And it, you know, because I did the basic recipe with you guys today, it's a really versatile flavor that goes with so many different flavors. I actually made these yesterday and I chopped one up and chopped a few up and I threw it into some leftover cabbage soup that I was trying to use up. And it was the perfect way to add protein to a dish that needed a little boost. So super versatile, super easy. These guys also freeze like a dream. So you can make a whole batch now and put them in the freezer, and when they're done, of course. And then, yeah, you have easy protein when you need it. So as always, guys, thank you so much for being here. This is a super fun way to just, share some of my favorite foods with you, show you that healthy eating can actually be really pretty easy. And yeah, I'll see you soon. I hope you have a great day.